what magic truly is using exactly what you want, but a symbolism. Is just using putting your energy out there with symbolism, doing something that would make you feel like you already have it, just like you said. So everyone was just writing, like putting their crystals and looking for them on Google and like writing it in their list. Someone wanted a job, someone wanted a health and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's after that they told me that they were not scared anymore about that. So I feel like sometimes they're more scared because they see it like it is on TV, but that's
Yeah.
not how it is.
They think it's like very like Halloween Town, like
Yeah.
Betekima, Betekita. It's
Yeah.
like it's not very much like that. Hey guys, welcome back. You already know who it is. It's Justin Dallas. This is Inherently Gay podcast where we talk about everything related to pop culture, queer identity, everything under the sun. I'm excited to have you guys back this week. We are talking about something special, so get your crystals ready, get your manifestation boards ready. We are talking all things manifesting your best life. I'm really excited for this week's episode and this week's guest. Please welcome Carlos.
Hi everyone, my name is Carlos, and I am super excited to be here.
How's your week going so far?
Busy, really busy, but
Yeah.
it's part of the manifestations.
She manifested too close to the sun. Now it's like now you're getting abundance.
You know, when you're saying that you really want a job, be careful because it comes with responsibilities. Yeah.
Yeah, no, recently I've been like applying to jobs and I've just been, the job market's been crazy. I've been applying everywhere. And like I sat down and I was like, okay, I want a job that encompasses this. I want to have this type of coworker. I want to have this type of team. And I've been having a lot of like, thankfully, I've been having a couple of interviews. So I'm just like, damn, like I feel like a pretty powerful manifester. But I'm super excited to talk about this week's episode. It's all about, manifesting your best life, manifesting, really your mindset and conquering your mind and slowing things down, learning how to breathe, conquering, your own challenges and your own demons inside your head. That way you can kind of create the best reality outwardly. But yeah, have you, I guess, talking about like manifestation, like what kind of got you into, manifestation or all things like witchy? Like, did you watch like Charm? Did you watch The Craft? Like, what was your like origin story? Like, how was little Carlos?
Well, I come from a family of teachers. So everything that we would do would have to be like a learning thing or like a learning experience. So of course I had to, every TV show or movie that I would watch would have to come with a moral. So my favorite TV show when I was growing up was Charmed. And I just really like the crystal, the manifestation and everything that you would do there and the responsibilities like we were saying about the job. But actually I started to manifest or like to know what really it was like how we know it now. When I was 13, I was going to my English classes, and someone brought the like the video of the Secret of the Law of Attraction, and that's when I watched that. I mean, I love books, but if the movie's there, or you can watch it while you're cleaning or stuff like that. And because I was watching that, I got my entire family into the law of attraction, into manifesting, and we all were making our vision boards.
Okay. So what is real fast? Like, what is the law? Like, what was the law of attraction? Like, what does that mean?
Okay, cliff notes would be focus on what you want and make what you don't want in your life very small. Like, don't pay attention to it because the attention will make it bigger. So if you want a raise, don't be complaining about your job. Like just talk about how great it is and the opportunities that you will have.
Almost like having like an abundance mindset. And I like kind of like what you're talking about, the law of attraction. Like I think what you speak into reality is true. Like if you're always negative, if you're a negative person, if you're always saying negative things, obviously negative energies and negative things are going to keep attracting to you. And like I tell my friends, I'm like, you have to be a little delulu, you have to be a little delusional, because if you want these things, you have to speak them into existence. And like, I've been watching, I mean, I went to college, but I feel like I've learned so much more from TikTok. I've seen a lot of TikToks of like, you have to act like you already have these things. So if you want, you know, that dream career or that partner or that, you know, fitness body or whatever, you know, you have to kind of start acting like you're already that person, because it's not going to just fall into your lap one day. And kind of talking about Charmed, like, who's your favorite character on Charmed?
Well, even though she didn't last the entire show, and everyone thought that she was problematic,
Ooh,
it would be Prue. I actually bought a convertible because she had a convertible. I took photography classes because she was a photographer. Um, Sometimes I might pretend that I have powers, and that's how I clean my apartment. But I feel like everyone does it.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Prue, gone too soon. We love her. What was the actress's name? Shannon Doherty?
Shannon Doherty. Yeah,
Okay.
she actually, yeah, she has been going to like Comic Cons and everything, and now she's like, I feel like all of them are trying to bring it back.
Oh, so you've seen her live at a Comic Con. You've met her?
No, but I met Piper and I met Brian Krause, which
Okay.
I was so nervous when I saw Leo, that just when I was about to say hello, I left. It was very
Okay.
embarrassing, yeah.
See,
'Cause he was
okay.
my crush.
Oh, okay, I see
Yeah.
that. Yeah, no, I loved their relationship. So, like, my favorite character, you talked about Piper. Piper was actually my favorite character just because she was, I mean, once Prue, like, she, like, left the show, Piper became the older sibling. And I just, like, I don't know, I feel like I really resonated with her, how she felt like she kind of, you know, kept the household together. She took care of, you know, the younger siblings, and she kind of put everybody before her. And then she had the, like, that one episode where she turned into a goddess and she like said F everything. She was mad at Leo. She was mad at everybody. That's kind of like how, I don't know. I just really resonated with Piper. As an adult, I feel like maybe I'm a little bit more of like a Phoebe, because I'm like, I want love. I want a relationships. Like I'm in my like lover boy era. But I mean, we're talking about Charmed. We're talking about manifestation. I kind of think like they go hand in hand, like believing in like witchcraft or believing in manifestation or religion or whatever you have something that you cling to. And I like to tell my friends, like, you're basically saying spells like when you're trying to manifest. Like, what are your thoughts on that? Like, whenever you manifest something, like, do you think it's like spells, or how do you go about your manifestations?
So, um, last year I had a solstice party with my friends.
Ooh.
And my intention for this, because I believe in doing things intentionally,
Okay.
if not.
What is solstice?
Solstice is like the celebration of the coming of. Oh, no, wait, it was midsummer. I'm sorry, midsummer. So it was literally the middle of the summer. So I bought witch bottles. I bought crystals and sage and a lot of candles, and I had like a list of things that you could do with those spells. And so I told them, what magic truly is using exactly what you want, but a symbolism. Is just using putting your energy out there with symbolism, doing something that would make you feel like you already have it, just like you said. So everyone was just writing, like putting their crystals and looking for them on Google and like writing it in their list. Someone wanted a job, someone wanted a health and stuff like that. And yeah, so it's after that they told me that they were not scared anymore about that. So I feel like sometimes they're more scared because they see it like it is on TV, but that's
Yeah.
not how it is.
They think it's like very like Halloween Town, like
Yeah.
Bethekima, Bethekita. It's
Yeah.
like it's not very much like that. And like, I mean, you're right. Like it's putting your belief and your faith into something. That's why like I know what you mean when you say like your friends were scared, because I know a lot of people, especially me, like growing up Latino, growing up, you know, religious, like I knew people, like I went to church a lot as a kid. And I know people who are like scared of witchcraft and they're like, that's the devil and that's evil. And I'm like, okay, I think a lot of it is fear based. And it's like, try to learn it, try to like immerse yourself and understand, you know, where it comes from. And it comes from a place of, you know, self love and, you know, gratitude and really putting your faith and your energy into making something happen. And that's very similar to, whether you're praying to a god or a deity and like whatever religion you have, or if you're like using a crystal or you're kind of manifesting, that next job or that career. I think it's all kind of intertwined and all similar.
And gratitude is the biggest spell that you can do for you or for someone else.
Hmm.
Like just being grateful every night. I'm just like I'm grateful for my job, even though sometimes it's kind of hard. I'm grateful that I'm alive. I'm grateful that I'm not struggling in this way or another, and it just makes you yeah. It does feel like magic. Yeah.
And it feels good. And I think when you live in a mindset of abundance or gratitude and appreciative, you just naturally bring more things into you, because it's like you're telling the universe or God or religion or whatever you kind of believe in, you're telling that thing or that power, thank you for all that you've granted me so far. And it just opens up the window for more opportunity. I'm like, oof, even though I said that I got chills right now, it's like, feels good.
However, I did have a time, and this was like last year when I first got to Austin. I was like, I don't want to go to my friend's birthday. I don't want to go. And I brought all of this like negative thoughts.
Hmm.
Like I was tired. It was on a Sunday. It was really hot. And at the end of the night, I got my car towed. So I was like, I can believe that. Well, I felt like I attracted that,
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So I feel like sometimes when I have like these thoughts that I don't want to go to work, I'm like, uh. To get your car back from the towing place is like $300. So I'd
Hello.
rather have a good attitude no matter what.
Yeah. It's like redirecting that energy.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm definitely one of those friends. In a previous episode, me and the guest were talking about being extroverted and introverted. And I do feel like, I carry a lot of energy with me just because I believe in like manifestation. So I definitely think I'm one of those people where if I'm upset, I wear my emotion on my sleeve, and like people can like feel the energy, whether I'm good or if I'm upset. Like, if I'm having a good time, I like lifting everybody up. If I'm upset, I tend to like shut down, and I'm working on it with my therapist, but like it's like, it's like not wearing your emotion on your sleeve, but I know that I can like affect the mood sometimes. And I try to have that mindset where if I have, a negative thought, or if I don't want to do something, really redirecting that of like, I get to do this or I get to do that. Because the same thing also works with like you feeling sick. Like I know like there's been like flus going around. It's the beginning of the year. If you feel like, ugh, I feel groggy, I feel nasty, you end up getting sick. I've noticed
Exactly.
that. And like,
Hmm.
not to say it's like all woo woo and it's like I don't believe in science. Like it's like no, like if you feed into that energy, it's kind of like you're allowing, that sickness to come in. And like I'm saying this with someone who has like a degree in science, but it's just like I believe in both things. I believe in, yes, you can get sick by, natural causation, but also if you feed into that negative energy, it doesn't do anything for the mind and the soul and the body.
I feel like we all have the power to choose how our day is going to go. Maybe there are things that we cannot control, but from when I wake up, I choose the song that I'm going to play. And and this is a little bit embarrassing.
What's your song?
It's called Perfect Day by Haku, and it was in the soundtrack of Legally Blonde.
Okay, Legally Blonde. I need to rewatch this movie.
Yes,
It
that's my
keeps
favorite
coming up.
movie.
Okay.
Yeah. And it just said, it's a perfect day, nothing standing in my way. And just hearing that, just thinking that and put it into the process, you just feel like no matter what happens, nothing's going to stand on my way.
I love that. And then also okay, so same. I have like a manifestation or mantras playlist that I would play every morning because I was in my spiritual era. I was in my spiritual bag, my nature girly
The
era.
Crystal Girl.
My crystal girl. I was waking up. So like whenever I wake up in the morning, I listen to this manifestation playlist, and I'll link it in the Instagram account. But it's just saying like it's all of these like high vibrational music because same. I think music is a form of magic, and I think whatever you listen to kind of dictates the vibe. So
Exactly.
I like listening to upbeat, positive like music. I don't know if you like are familiar with Ravina.
It sounds familiar. But
She is a spiritual girly. I love her music, and it's all just high vibrational, like manifestation music. And if you follow her Instagram account at Ravina, she'll post like daily gratification posts. She'll like post things to like meditate on her album. She has a guided meditation.
Oh, wow.
It's really cute. I love her. But on that same vein, if I listen to sad music, listen, I'll start like I have. It's giving psych ward because it's like I cannot listen to sad music or I will start spiraling.
However,
Yeah.
it's good to have those moments. Like, if I know that I have a little dark cloud that is
Mhm.
following me around, I have to give myself time to cry,
Yeah.
time to decompress.
Hmm.
So, of course, I'm gonna have a podcast, a playlist of a lot of songs, including some of Twilight, that will make you feel sad, so you can get it out.
Hmm.
No emotion that you have is gonna be forever, so just let it out.
Yeah. I've been seeing a therapist for the past maybe since like last September I started going to her, and basically what we've learned or what I've learned in therapy is like no emotion is good or bad.
Yeah.
Like sometimes a way of healing and processing is just getting that out and like needing a good cry. So yeah, I agree. Like if you need a good cry, do it, or if you need a laugh, do it. Or sometimes like this sounds so cheesy and corny, but like sometimes I'll just have to like dance it out and like I'll wake up and I notice I'm feeling in a rut and I'm like, no, like I want to have a good day, and I'll just like start dancing and I'll put on like some Megan the Stallion and I'll like start, twerking and throwing ass, and I'm like, okay, you know what? It's going to be a good day. We're manifesting.
Okay, I do the same, but instead of dancing, because I'm not a good dancer,
Uh-huh.
I have two microphones for karaoke.
Oh.
One is for my car for whenever traffic is terrible,
Mhm.
and another one is for just to take anywhere. And I notice that I use them most when I'm really happy or really sad. But it has
Ooh.
to be like the both ends.
But it's kind of like your outlet to get emotion out.
Yeah, I bought it back when I was diagnosed with cancer, and that would make me truly would make me just go from one end to the from the kitchen to the living room and just pretending that my life was the movie that I wanted to watch.
I love that. What is your go-to karaoke song for when you're happy?
Okay, Uptown Girls.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. I wouldn't have thought that. And then what do you have like
Oh,
whenever you're sad, do you have like a go-to?
uh, well, there's so many songs that you can say. Okay, my sad song. You know, I don't sing it. Um, okay, Cam, Burning House.
Okay, I'm gonna have to listen to that.
Yeah, and I actually sing it kind of good.
Ooh, okay, you hear that?
Yeah.
It's like giving American Idol.
Yeah, sure.
And then I kind of want to go back to like I like how you said you live every day like it's like a movie, or you want to live it like it's a movie. And I think we need to start in 2024. Y'all, listen to me right now. We need to start romanticizing our lives more. We need to start, living like we're in a movie, because time is so short, and I think we're so stressed. So you're either living in the past or you're living in the future. I think we really need to like actively romanticize our life,
Yeah.
live in the present, and just like have a good time. I mean, I know that you kind of mentioned that you kind of went through cancer, and we're talking about, the theme of this episode is manifesting your best life, overcoming, being persistent. Kind of how did your mindset of, you know, resilience and manifestation kind of play in hand with you living through cancer?
Well, just like you said, I knew that if I felt sick, I was gonna get sick.
Hmm.
So I wasn't gonna allow myself to feel sick. So I really wanted to stay happy and busy.
Hmm.
So I started to read all the books that I had that I never read, the movies that I really wanted to watch. I took a camera and I was taking pictures of so many places and sending them to my uncles and aunts. And every night, and this is very important, and this is something that I have to work on now as an adult. But the power of traditions, the power of doing the same thing every day,
Mm.
like your gratitude, it could be, or just visualizing the life that you want to have. every night before going to bed, I would just think the life that I want to have. Okay, when I'm better from cancer, when I survive, I want to have a convertible, and I want to live in a big city. And mind you, that I was living in Boston, but I knew that I wasn't gonna stay there. So just those thoughts, those images in my head, even though they were not real, they would give me endorphins, and endorphins make you happy. And happy people don't kill their husbands. They just don't.
Gone Girl, yeah.
No, no, no. This is Legally Blonde.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yes. So now is something that I try to do as well with vision boards.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that idea of, and obviously, like, everybody going through their own, struggle or their own challenge, whether that's like, cancer or, another struggle. We all kind of, deal with it in our own ways.
And everyone is
Obviously,
valid.
yeah, everything is valid. And obviously, like, medicine is like the main thing. But I do think, like, having a good mindset and, having that resilience and kind of seeing the other side and like what my life would look like once I'm done with this. I think that's super important to have.
Yeah. And it has a lot of psychology into it because your brain is already living it. Like if you think about the times that you have been thinking of the negative stuff, your body gets stressed, it gets sweating, it gets. So what if you did the opposite to that and actually try to imagine the good things about it? So, and that's how we switch our mindset. They said, if you want to feel happy, watch videos of cats or babies laughing or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or choose the songs that that are going to make you feel happier. Like self-awareness is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think the mind, the body, and the soul, they're all interconnected, and like I think that's why I'm a strong like believer of spirituality and kind of manifesting, because there is some science behind it. There is neuroscience studies that show like the power of resilience and how that gets people through. I mean, if you look at history, like all these horrible things like slavery, the Holocaust, etc., like a lot of things of persistence, get people through. It's hope, really.
Yeah.
So I love that. Can you talk a little bit about your vision boards? Like what is a vision board for Carlos? Like what sticks out?
Well, I actually put the entire universe there. For me, it's very important to feel part of it. And then I photoshopped a picture of me like with like ripped, because that's how I want to look, of course. But I realized like in a year, I changed my vision board at least 5 times. Like I literally ripped it and started over. And what I realized is that it was just giving me so much pressure and anxiety. Like I just have to continue this. What is the next goal? So what I did is that I did half of vision board for my goals, and the other half I left it open for accomplishments that I have had as a gratitude measure. So now every time that I'm looking at my vision board, I see that I learned English, that I went to school, that I learned how to drive at 23, and all of those little things that maybe to other people they're not big, but to me it was amazing when I learned how to make a bun cake.
Yeah.
Or a tres leches cake. You know what I mean? Like, it is to you who is important, and that's how you're grateful.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it's a little endorphin boost because it feels like you're checking something off of a list. And I think whenever we make vision boards, I think you said a really couple of important things. One, I think it's important to be flexible. So I think don't feel like you're married or chained down to your vision board. Life happens, life changes, and maybe it's in the cards for you to update or be flexible with what you intentionally perceived versus like what is actually happening. So I think that's really important. The second thing I think is, having goals that are attainable, like being realistic. Like these are vision boards, they're not fantasy boards. Obviously, we'd love to win the lottery, but think about what is attainable within a year. What can you do? And being able to like mark things off, because it feels really good, and it's a good little like mood booster to be like, hey, you know what? I did that. Let me check that off. And like it gives me motivation to, do other things or, finish the rest of my board.
Have you ever heard about vision boards for partners?
No, what is that?
Well, I am very grateful that my therapist is actually kind of witchy too.
Hmm.
So we were thinking on how I could do my vision board for a partner, because I just kept falling and falling again into the same person. And I figured that if I had my goals that I want in a partner, and I literally had them in front of me in my closet every day, I would be able to stop falling for the same guy over and over. And so far, it has worked. I mean, I am single,
Yeah.
but I wrote things that are not shallow.
Mm.
This is nothing to do with money or with how they dress or how they look, but this is about how they make you feel. Does this person makes me feel safe? Can I travel with this person? Um, I don't know. Unconditional respect. I don't believe in unconditional love. I think love should be earned and cherished and taken care of. But respect, we should offer always
To everybody.
to everybody,
Hmm.
even if you don't want to be with someone.
Hmm.
Like, don't make them be with you, even if they don't want to. So I have those things on my vision board. And whenever I'm dating someone, I go to my vision board and I start like, does this person does this? Oh, and something very important. I do want to see the person often. Like, people are so busy, and for what?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think like it's kind of like that motto of like if they want it to, they will. I think for like the right person, they'll make the time and like yeah, obviously, I think regardless of if they're a romantic partner or not, I think respect is always important. I think making sure they fall in love, like they fall in place with your daily activities and your daily life and your values. So understanding like who you are, knowing who you are is the first kind of like step, is like understanding who you are through and through. And once you kind of like identify those values, kind of write it down. So like, yeah,
Hmm.
I guess I have heard of that because a couple years ago, or 2 years ago during the pandemic, like I journaled all of these qualities of like what I wanted in a partner. And it's kind of like it's giving like build a man, build a bear. Like I had a
Yes.
quality and I wrote down like, everything from very like broad to super specific to like, this person values family and they're close to their family, all the way to this person likes tequila and like they love doing this on a Sunday. And it's kind of a way of manifesting because it's like,
Hmm.
if I understand what I want ideally, because we all get distracted by Tinder and Hinge and Bumble because those are all physical vanity
Yeah.
based apps. So like I know for me, like I'll look at someone like just right off the spot. I'm like, if they're attractive, I'll swipe right. If I
Yeah.
don't think they're attractive, I'm like, okay, I'll swipe left. But really being able to zone in and write down, I want all of these qualities to be in my next partner. It kind of gives the universe a baseline and a point for the universe to act and bring you something. And you can always refer back to those notes when you do start talking to someone. And if you're confused, because it's like, I like this person, but they're not really in line with kind of what I'm manifesting. So are they in line with it? Or do I need to
Hmm.
be flexible and, amend what I initially wrote? Because it is important to be flexible as well.
And food for thought. Everything that you're writing on that list for that partner,
Hmm.
do you have it in you?
Okay.
Are you asking? Do you currently have the things that you're asking for?
Okay.
My therapist said, why don't you? Well, I told her, I don't look like the guys that I would usually go for. And she
Mhm.
said, why don't you just become one of them?
Yeah.
So you break that pattern.
Mm.
And I did. That's why I went blonde. Anyway, um, it's so funny that last week I was going through my things and cleaning, and I found an actual vision board that I had of my partner, but back when I was 23.
Oh wow.
And it was very different. I think at 23, we are a little bit shallow.
Hmm.
Um, but I dare you and everyone who's listening to create a new vision board every year and keep it and see how you are progressing.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Kind of like looking back.
Yes. And not only that, like, you remember your dreams. If you do it for a partner, you see what was important back then.
Hmm.
And then when you find your partner, you can see if you made decisions based on it, or if you just said, yeah, love is great, I'm just gonna accept them how they are. But yeah,
I'm such a nostalgic person. Like I eat that shit up. I would love that. And like the same, like I think the same is true as like so I work corporately as a recruiter. I hire people. So in my typical job, I work with the hiring manager to hire a candidate, right? So I have to understand what the hiring manager is looking for in a candidate, and then I'm able to use what the requirements of the job is to find that specific person. And I think a lot of us should really apply like a lot of our professional skills to our life. And I'm like, hey, if I know I want a partner, let me think about all of these qualities that I want them to have instead of just
Exactly.
blindly talking to whoever, swiping on whoever, and just like, feeling like we're in a like mindset or mentality of like, I need to find this person before I turn, a certain age or before these landmarks, these milestones come. Because I do like what you said when you were talking about what we look for in our partner do we already
Yeah.
have, because I think it's super important that we find somebody that we can grow with,
Mhm.
and that we're not searching for happiness in another person.
Yes.
We should have that happiness within ourselves. We should have that self-love, and we should grow with someone who's also on a similar journey,
Mhm.
and not relying on someone to be our end all be all.
Have you ever read about the laws of? Okay, I'm not pretty sure how they go, but it's the
Hmm.
law of assumption, similarity, and it's like witchy laws. But those tell you that like attracts like and things and all of those. And one of those says, go to the spaces where the person that you would
Hmm.
like to get to know would be. Transform yourself in that person. Or like go to the Instagram and see if you would fit into their pictures. Like imagine their life, their Instagram as a vision board. Can you afford
Mm.
the trip?
Okay.
Yeah. Can you? I don't know. Like, if they're a public figure, are you gonna be okay being as a public figure? If not, stop focusing on that person. You know what I mean?
I love that because a lot of times, like, let me get a freaking journal and start taking some notes because, like, yeah, that's so true. Like, I think a lot of us live in Delulu land where it's like, okay, it's fine to be delusional, but I think a lot of us want this one person or they're attracted to this type of thing. And then when it falls in their lap, they're like, oh, actually, like, it's not what I expected or I'm not happy. And it's because you set up this expectation. So I really, really like that. I think find find your person by going to those spaces. If you want someone who if you want someone who you're going to have game night with on weekends or you're going to watch movies with, you're probably not going to find them at the club because that person's going to want to be at the club, they're going to want to be drinking. Or if you do want someone who is active, maybe go to join a sports league or go to the gym or find someone there. Kind of start searching where your ideal person would be and make sure you're becoming that person.
Exactly. It's like, why would you try to go to like find a football player at a, I don't know, at the movies? Like,
Hmm.
it is easier to find someone that loves movies and that does that. Like, you need to find the places, but also to be able to camouflage and also to see if that is truly you. Are you gonna feel comfortable being someone else that is not you?
Yeah. And I think that goes back to like understanding who you are and understanding who you are in and out, but also like what you're looking for. Because I have like this really quick story, but I I really embraced my creative side during the pandemic and like really flourished into like art and music and books and this podcast and doing like graphic design and UX and all of these things that I really didn't focus on when I was younger because I was so focused on like academics and being studious and stuff. And I always wanted an artsy boyfriend because I'm like, I want a boyfriend to go to the museums with and do all these things. And I remember wanting to date this guy because they seemed very artsy. And like, I remember my best friend told me, like, she was like, well, why don't you just be the artsy person? Because you're
Hmm.
already artsy. You already talk about it. Why do you not think that you're artsy and you have to date someone who is? And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like, let me go and do those museums myself and let me go and do these things and let me go to art markets and work with other creatives. And I'm like, that's who I am. Why was I? It was like I was wanting that for me and I was looking for that in someone else. And I think a lot of queer dating especially, we go through that because it's kind of like as a queer person you're dating someone of a queer identity, and it's like, do I want to date that person or do I want to be that person?
Yes, like with one of my best friends, Tyler, we're always talking about, okay, you like this guy, but what is it that you like about him? And he's like, well, it's because I would like to go more to the gym and I want to do this. And I'm like, dude, those are things that you don't do.
Hmm.
Like, you're not gonna enjoy those things. If not, you would be doing them without them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like create a life for yourself so strong that it's an identity. And whenever a person comes, you're not gonna have a problem knowing who you are.
Yeah. And I think it's so I kind of hate using this word because it's so like ugh, but it's like you have to think of like your identity and your essence as like, a brand. Like if I were to introduce myself to someone, do I know everything I stand for? Do I know everything, do I know my favorite hobbies? Do I know what my
Exactly.
values are? Like if you don't understand yourself, how are you going to manifest that right person? And I think another really big thing that goes hand in hand with manifestation and kind of like how we kind of start talking about dating is
Yes.
intentionality.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're not thinking about specifically what you want and you have kind of a mindset formed, you're just going to grab at whoever. You're just going to say, yes, 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 yes. And if you're not being intentional, you're not going to, you might end up unhappy or you might
Yeah.
be not satisfied with the person that comes into your life. And again, I'm saying all of this with, the intention of, setting understandings and values of yourself. I don't think that you should be restrictive and be like, I'm going to be so rigid. I think it's a balance. Like, yes, open yourself up to opportunities, say yes to things that you normally wouldn't, but kind of have that foundation of knowing who you are.
Yeah, and I feel like with intention is like, why would you do something that you don't even know if you will like the outcome of? You know what I mean? Like, for example, with dating, I'm just not gonna go dating someone that I feel like I'm not gonna vibe well, like even for a free meal, which I know you, like some of you actually do that.
Yeah.
I had a roommate that actually did that.
Uh huh.
3 meals a day, completely free. Anyway, um, why would you do that? It is your time. It is your energy. Like
Yeah.
if you truly feel like they're not gonna be for you, then just don't do it. Like give the opportunity for yourself to get to know yourself better instead of going to that date.
Yeah. And if you want to do that, like, that's totally fine too. But, like, I think what we're saying is just like, you're kind of spending, like, it's kind of like cash. Like, you're spending your
Mm-hmm.
energy, you're
Exactly.
spending your time. You can't get that time back. But also, like, within that same vein, like, I do have, like, my friends who do kind of, like, check me and give me a reality check and tell me, like, hey, try dating outside of your type or try looking, outside of what you would normally go for. And, like, they really help me open myself up to new experiences, so I do think it's a balance of, creating and experiencing new things, but also having that foundation of knowing who you are and where you stand.
Okay, you ask me what I have in my vision board. If you would write a vision board about your partner, what would be the first 3 things that you would put?
um Girl, okay, so for
Just three.
okay, so first I think they should know how to communicate.
Okay.
So being able to admit when they're wrong, being able to, just communicate how they feel, even if they don't want to talk, being able to voice and vocalize how they feel. And usually that's some indicator that they've been to therapy.
Yeah.
Second is I want someone who is close with their family or their friends. So I understand like not everybody's close with their family, but like you have some type of support network that is not just 100% gonna be me.
Mm-hmm.
You're close with, either your friends or your family. You have an identity outside of potentially this relationship.
Yeah.
And then third, I want someone who is kind of, I don't know how else to describe it, but feeling like a breath of fresh air. Someone who is funny, goofy, playful. I think someone who is wanting to experience new adventures and could, riff with me. I feel like I'm kind of like playful mean with like my partners. Like I love like reading them or like playfully hating roasting.
Stop, you're talking about me. Just kidding. I mean I get that. And also I grew up with that phrase that said, they're gonna treat you like they treat their mothers.
Mm,
So yeah, just watch how they treat their family
yeah.
or their people close to them and see what place you will occupy later on in their lives.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I think like right now I'm in my like dating era. I think I would love a relationship, but I'm not like
That's the reputation era, right?
yeah, I'm in my
Not the lover one.
girl, I'm in my midnights era. Um but yeah, no, I feel like I'm opening myself up to interacting and meeting people this year. I think I want to have new experiences and say yes to things I would normally say no to. So
Mhm.
I've been going on dates with people. I've been like, just opening myself up to the universe with intention. And like whenever I do go on dates, I do ask them like, "Oh, hey, like how close are you with your family?" or "Tell me about like your friend group." Or like I'll kind of ask these questions like suss out if they align with kind of what I wrote intentionally
Mhm.
with my manifestation board or my vision board of like, oof, this person is really rude to, the service staff. I'm like, I don't want
Oh,
that
I
in a
hate that.
partner. Yeah.
No.
Or this person, isn't close with their family. And I'm like, I call my mom and like my brother like almost every other
Mhm.
day. So it's just like, how do they fit into this life I want?
And we think that relationships are like, yeah, he's my boyfriend, but a relationship can make it or break it for you. Like, truly, truly, truly can change your life for a good reason or a bad reason. Like, um, they can be the best supporter or they can literally make you not see your family again.
Yeah.
So it is true. You do have to have similar values for that.
Yeah, I think they should like lift you up and make you better. And I think that's why you need to find someone who is on that same path as you that you can walk together.
Yeah.
I remember I got this advice from one of my old companies where the boss was saying like, would you be proud of your partner because they're essentially a reflection of you, this person you're dating?
Mhm.
Would you be happy with how they act, how they interact with the world, the job they have, how they treat other people? Would you be happy if they were a representation of you? Because if you are partners, they're essentially like your other half, kind of like
Mhm.
out of all of the people on the planet, you chose this person to walk your life with. So that says something about you. And would you be happy with how this person kind of navigates or moves through the world? So I kind of think about that whenever I'm on the apps or whenever I'm talking to people of like, okay, would I be happy if they met my friends? How would my friends react to this person? How would my family react?
Okay, I actually whenever I'm gonna start dating someone, I
Hmm.
always think, imagine how is that meet and greet with my parents gonna be,
Hmm.
and I am like, is this sustainable? That is my word, sustainability,
Hmm.
because we can have a great summer, um, but a great life, that's another thing. Um, yeah, and that's like a thing to think. Like, honestly, I might have had 10 boyfriends in the past, but I know I started dating at 15.
Hmm.
So, and I'm 30. Um, so 10 boyfriends. I think only one I would actually go back and date. But if I think of all of them, like, we truly didn't have so many values in common, and that's the things that broke our relationships. In the vision board, I realized that I didn't write things that I wanted to have, but I wrote things that I felt like I didn't have in my relationships.
Mm.
It was kind of like going back and say, okay, why did I break up with this person? And why did I break up with this one? Then in my next one, this is gonna be very important to have.
Just doing like an audit of all of the past relationships.
Yes.
And I think that's important. And also, kind of with the idea of letting things go to the universe, I think it's okay. I think it's totally okay if, we don't know what we want right now and we just want to date and we just want to open ourselves up, because that's kind of like where I'm at right now this year is like I'm just opening myself up to new experiences. I'm not trying to control things because I think it could, whenever you do set intentions, I think the negative side of that is if you're too rigid and you're like, I need this person has to be like this, or I need to be married by 25 to have kids by 30 to like set your life already tracked. And it's like, just let it go to the universe, just for lack of better terms, just vibe and like go easy. And if you set your intentions, let it go to the universe and have trust and faith that the universe will work it out. But don't be too rigid to the point where you're cutting yourself off from
Yeah.
new experiences.
And you know what? I forgot to mention that manifestation has, I believe it's a three-step process. Is what is it that you want, and then uh, be open to receiving, and that means putting yourself in that state of mind. Like, how does it feel? Oh, how would I feel once I have it? So
Mm,
just be happy, just feel content, and lastly, just don't wait till it gets to you. Do something.
yeah.
Like, um, it's a lot of recall and like traditions and like being grateful for the things that you already. It kind of feels like you're crazy, because
Yeah.
yeah, you just want to say thank you for winning the lottery and do something, buy a ticket.
Also, I want to say, like, I grew up with the phrase of like closed mouths don't get fed. So like don't just set your intentions. Like say, okay, we've been on this like partner thing. So like just say you set your intentions for what you want your partner to be and you're like, okay, I let it go to the universe. Like no, like
Mm,
closed mouths don't get fed. Like you actively have to put yourself out there.
exactly.
Like I remember talking to a friend and she was like, "Oh, I want to meet a partner, but I stay at home all the time." And I'm like, "Girl, well, how are you going to meet somebody? Like DoorDash?" Like
Online, I guess.
yeah, and it's like, yeah, I mean, I know plenty of people to meet people online, like that's totally the norm, but also put yourself
Yes.
in a situation to receive that abundance and receive those gifts. Like you also have to actively be working with the universe and not just, you know, not do anything.
Yeah.
It's if you're going to remain idle, nothing's going to happen. Kind of move as if that thing is already coming
Yeah.
towards you.
Just like your best friend would say, make it make sense.
Yes, exactly. Um, okay, Carlos. So we've talked about like manifestation, mindsets, abundance. You mentioned a couple of like witchy stuff. Like, how do you? I guess what do you believe in? Like, do you believe in like witchcraft, spirituality? Kind of what is your philosophy?
I think my philosophy since I was little, because I jumped from one church to another, and especially because I like a lot of guys that went to church.
Hmm.
So I dated a Mormon and a Christian and a Catholic, and um, but at the end, I figure out that I'm just a spiritual, and I like to take one good thing, or whatever I like from the things. So I believe in God, but I also believe in witchcraft, but I love Buddhism as well, and
Hmm.
meditation and stuff like that. I think that goes with everything. But yeah, I'm very like into crystals, and like doing your little pouch, and like I do have like these coffin nails in my apartment for protection. No one has ever broken
Hmm.
because of that, obviously. Um, yeah, and I do believe in karma. Like, if something happens to me, I'm like, what did I do? Like, seriously, what did I do? Um, but it's traditions. It's just making space for these witchy things that, at the end, psychologically speaking, they make you feel like you have control, you
Hmm.
have power. And I feel like that's a lot with witchcraft. It makes you feel like you're actually doing something in order for it to happen.
Gotcha. Okay. And I think, yeah, and I think there's power in being mindful. So, like, even if you don't believe in witchcraft or if you don't believe in, manifestation, and if you think it's all woo woo, there is science based in mindfulness and being grounded. So, I think what a lot of people experience, depending on whatever you believe in, is that moment of peace whenever you're grounded and you're centered. And there is scientific research kind of saying like if you're in nature, you feel more
Exactly.
calm. You radiate energy back into the earth. And I think that's why there's like that meme of saying like go touch some grass whenever you're anxious. If you're listening to this and you are wanting to start some of the things we talked about today. I know sometimes it's hard. Sometimes, like, I'll be in bed at like 2 a.m. looking at TikToks of like how to best live your life. And I'm like, I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. and it's already like 2:30. And I'm like, oh crap. So, if you do want to start, like, one of my favorite things, like we kind of talked about, is practicing gratitude.
Yes.
So, I know we talk about journaling, and journaling is such a broad word of like, what is journaling? What do I do? What do I even write? Is it like my third grade diary? And it's like, it could be whatever you want to be. For me, my favorite thing is to practice gratitude. And I know sometimes it's hard having a physical journal. So there's actually gratitude apps that I download on my phone,
Mm,
and it'll send you a reminder like at the same time every day, because I think being consistent with how you do things and what time you do things is important.
yeah.
So it'll send you a reminder, and every, 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. when I'm getting ready to go to bed, it'll send me a gratitude thing, and I'll just type 5 things to be grateful for. And it can feel hard at the beginning of like, oh my God, I need to think of all these things. But as you keep practicing gratitude, you can easily, like right now, I can easily name like 20 things. And it can
Mhm.
be as simple as like, the person was very nice to me at the coffee shop today. She waved at me and like she was super sweet. I loved her energy. Or it can be things of like, I'm so glad to have an interview for this job.
Yeah. And also, you can set up accountability partners. It
Mm-hmm.
can be your mom, it could be your partner, it could be your friend, your sister, and it's so important to have someone that can go through this with you. And that is another thing of like manifesting. Like, make sure you're doing it, because we all have great ideas. That probably they're not gonna go somewhere if you don't plan how they're gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, I feel like even if you create your vision board, do one for this year as well, and see what do I want to do every month, or like what little things I want to work on this month so I can get there maybe in October.
And check in with yourself.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, you can be your own accountability partner using apps like you said.
Listen, 2024 is high vibes, high vibrationals. Whenever you have your happy hours, or whenever you get together with your girls, um, start incorporating that into the conversation. Be more open of like, hey, like this is what I want to manifest, or like start talking about your intentions. The more you start talking about what you want to manifest, the more it becomes true. So, we're living on high vibes in 2024. So start incorporating a lot of these practices and these conversations that we had today into your friend groups. Like, it's no more drama, no more mess. We're not talking about anybody. I mean, we can after a few margaritas, but let's start talking about, the better things, the things that we're trying to work towards, the goals we're doing.
Exactly.
Don't make it this taboo thing that I have to keep to myself. If you do want to be private about it, like, yeah, obviously, of course, but, start sharing with your friends and like create that emotional support system.
Yeah, at a job that I had, they told us about the red string of connection or something like that. And they said when you share your dreams and your goals and stuff like that, you might know of someone that knows someone that can bring you closer to them. So we started doing that, and someone was like, "Well, I would like to work for Google," and then someone said, "Actually, my aunt works at Google," and then and then it happens. So it's like, what if the person that can help you to get what you want is right in front of you,
Yeah.
but you're not brave enough to say it?
And you would never know. That's
Exactly.
closed mouths do not get fed. I love
Exactly.
that. I think that's a good thing to kind of just like end with and go out into the universe of like start being more vocal.
Mm.
Speak up.
Speak up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on today,
No,
Carlos.
thank you so much.
Inherently Gay, we're super excited to have you, and I feel like I need to start taking notes because we talked about a lot of great stuff. I'm about to start implementing a lot of this stuff into my life. Next time you see me, I'm gonna be a spiritual girly. I'm only gonna move with vibes. But yeah, is there anything that you want to plug? Where can the people find you on social media?
Well, I'm on social media at the real Mr. Carlos Alejandro.
Okay.
But if I want to leave everyone with about manifestation, I just want to say that I think that I'm so strong that I can make any object to have a certain power, either a stone, either a key or anything. So you can decide what power you want to give to those things. You can decide with magic, with books, with a stuffed animal, with anything. And that is your power. That is you creating. That is you choosing to believe in something. And that is how things happen, because you are setting yourself with intentions to get it. So think today, what can I choose today for to have that power? Maybe it's a stone that I carry with me every day. That every time that I get it out, I remember to do my the things that I'm grateful for. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love that. I need to think about what I'm going to put my power in and who I'm going to put my power in, and just kind of how I'm going to navigate,
Yeah.
you know, how I interact with the world right now. Thank you guys for listening this week. It was super fun having Carlos on. As always, my name is Justin Dallas. This is Inherently Gay Podcast. We'll see you every Monday on Spotify and YouTube. If you want to follow the podcast, it's Inherently Gay on all social media. And if you want to find me, it's Justin Dallas on all social media. So until next time, we'll see you later, guys. Go out there and start manifesting. Bye.